All right, we're gonna move on. Oh, I'm so pumped about this next collection, and I know you will be too, because I put this on. I'm gonna show you all the pieces at once, because I put this on and I was like, oh my goodness, Jay, goodness gracious. So here we go. We're gonna talk about first the ring, and this is a brand new Kingman collection, which I don't get to say very often, Jay. And we both I went nuts. I was like, Jay, this is stunning. We've got the cuff coming up, I hope, and here's this magnificent ring. So what's the story behind this?
Okay, I bought this material at least over 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Now, the Kingman mine is still operational. About 6 years ago, the market changed. Everybody that, as you know, this is the Kingman mine, by the way. It's an open pit copper mine. What happened is, you know, the turquoise market, 6 years ago just went crazy. Sleeping Beauty mine shut down. All the American turquoise all of a sudden went nuts. I thought at the time, this is a fad. And so, but here's the thing, okay? I love buying anything, you know, especially if I can buy American rough. But also when I buy things, I have to buy them at a price where I can manufacture and know that I'm giving you a super good deal, right? I mean, it's not just the look, it's not just the material, but it's also, there's a lot of materials, just so you know, that I pass on, but I pass on it just because it's not that I don't love the material, it's not that I don't see the value in the material, it's just that I can't, when I do a design, when I weigh it all out, when I figure it out, I just can't really give you really a screaming deal, something that I really think is really amazing. Now, I will tell you this right now, okay, this is brand new. This cuff and this ring, they're brand new. These are the largest Kingman cabochons I've ever used. This is, if not the highest grade Kingman that you're seeing here that I've ever had. If it's not, it's close. It's in the top 3 of the rough materials that I got out of this mine. And I've been doing business with the Kingman mine for over 30 years. In fact, the Kingman mine is where I met my wife. And I still hold that against Marty. No, I'm just kidding. She's in England. I can say whatever I want. You can say whatever you want. Good show. Really, look, I can say anything I want, right?
Maybe she's watching online.
Hopefully she's not streaming this. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. But yeah, Suzanne knows my wife. So, but this mine, I'm just saying they're great friends of ours. We go way back. I would know them really well. But what's happened is this material right now. Okay, I gave you this. This is some of the last of the material that we have. We don't keep, we always keep the ultimate best rough material. I learned that early in my life. Always keep the absolute cream of the crop to the end. We're running out of Kingman turquoise. Right now, if I went to replace this, could I replace this material? Absolutely. They're getting high-grade material out. The material right now, minimum 3 to 5 times. Take the cost of this, that ring, multiply by minimum 3, probably more like 5. Wow. And that's what I would have to sell that for. Look at the size of this. If you're a person who likes to get noticed that wants this, and this is Kingman, but it's not just Kingman, it's the high clear blue. Very little of the Kingman turquoise was ever this color with the real clear. Back in the day, in the 60s and stuff, it was known for the clarity and the big high blue. I'm just telling you, I cut the material that I had. I designed Mondo stuff when I designed this cuff. And by the way, Suzanne, when she came out, she fell in love with this.
The first thing I put on, I was like, I'm wearing this cuff.
And and she put it on. Look at the size of this. I
just want to mention one thing, Jay, real quick while we're on the ring. If you have big knuckles, I would say go up a size, girls, okay? Because this is all completely handmade. So if you're kind of in between sizes, like a 6 or a 7, which I am, sometimes I can wear a 6, sometimes in Jay's I wear a 7, I would say go up 1 size on this ring, wouldn't you agree?
I would say just because of the width of the shank, if you wear a 7, go up to an 8.
An 8, yeah, look at that.
But if you look at this, they're all hand done. They're all manufactured from sterling silver sheet material, which is custom made in a foundry in the United States for us. These are all done one at a time by our silversmiths, and that's the big deal here, okay? This is old school. These aren't cast, these aren't stamped. These are all individually hand done, hand scribed, all done by hand. All the turquoise cut by hand. This is the natural color. And again, this material was purchased at minimum at least maybe going on 6 years ago. This is some of the last of the Kingman rough I had. If I tried to go buy this today, they have this quality of rough right now. That's what they're getting. It literally minimum 3 times to 5 times. I would say for this quality of the blue and the clarity, at least 5-time markup is what you'd have to pay for this.
It's
now,
so pretty.
What I did is I'm selling you, I'm making these designs, and I'm holding my price at what I paid for this material 6 years ago, okay? I didn't take it. I could literally take this material, take it to other people, to other manufacturers that I know in New Mexico and Arizona, and sell it for way more than what any one item that you're seeing here is being priced at. But I don't do that. I believe that, you know, like, I want to make sure you get a deal. I kind of cried when I did this. It's like one of those things when you're down to the last of something, and you know you're not going to be able to replace that.
Yeah.
But
It's got to be a little sad, really.
But I wanted to go out with something that you're going to remember that is stunning, that is absolutely over the top, crazy value, crazy price, crazy quality, and this is it. If you want to collect Kingman Turquoise, nobody can buy Kingman, do these size of cabochons, and even come close. I don't care who they are. They can't even come close to this price.
Now, I'm going to show something really quick, Jay, just because to give you an idea. On most turquoise rings, this would be the stone you'd see on a ring. I'm just giving you a size idea, okay? So I'm just grabbed the necklace, because that's normally what a ring is. That just gives you an idea how big this stone is. And also, I think it's really important, Jay, to explain, these are full cabochons. You're thinking, oh, how?
No, these aren't doublets or anything.
These are not doublets.
Solid turquoise.
Full, solid cabochons. The ring, let's do a sizing update, Adam. We popped out the earrings. I am over the moon about these earrings, too. I wish I owned them. I wish I would have bought them before I went on the air. I think they're so pretty. And this cuff is the biggest size cuff that Jay's ever done. And guess what? Wildly comfortable. That's what I told him. I said, oh my gosh, you can actually still use your hand and wear such an impressive piece. All right, here we go. Size 5 is sold out. I now have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now size 12 is sold out. We've already sold 266. I have a little over 400, but I will tell you I have about 300 people now on the line, or you're jumping on .com, which I love you girls to go to .com because you know how to get these pieces. This is a one and done, basically, Jay. I mean, there's no way.
There's absolutely no way to bring this back. There's no way to, okay, could I buy this turquoise? Absolutely. You want to pay 5 times this price? There you go. Okay, because that's what it'll be. It'll be minimum 3, probably more like 5 for this quality, because this is some of the higher quality material that they had, the clarity blue. I want to point something out. Okay, this is, look how big that turquoise ring is. Do you see, Susan can put her fingers together, right? Are they comfortable?
Oh,
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth,
no,
but
always comfortable.
Because
yeah, you're right. That's a great point.
They're hand done. They're not cast. This is done from sterling silver sheet material, so you can see. So you've got this tensile strength. You've got that structure, that strength, because it's American silver sheet that's custom made. You can't go anywhere in the world. There is no place in this planet Earth that you can go that I'm aware of, and I've tromped a little bit of the tundra out there, that you can get sterling silver sheet even made except for America. The stuff that they have that I've seen in Africa and Europe, they say, oh yeah, we get sheet. It's like aluminum foil. You can literally take it and grind it. I can make a ball out of it and toss it at you.
Really?
This is all
beautiful.
Custom made. They make it to our specifications. To our total specifications, all hand done, all hand polished. You can't get better.
And you can feel it. You can feel this isn't that tinty, wimpy, yucky stuff. It's really got a great heft to it. All right, we're going to